Alright guys, Beelamir back another live stream, doing the same fucking shit like I've been doing every fucking day of just ranking players though. We're kind of actually almost done this time. A bit of a late start, for multiple reasons. One, I've been busy most of the day. Two, I did start working on making the version of the list I'm doing off stream, which is taking a decent amount of time. So I'm gonna get more of that done. To where if I started early enough today, we probably could have actually just finished this version of the list, um, but yeah, I think I'm probably better off just like working on the other version. Try to like uh get it done by Wednesday if I can. I don't know. We'll see. Let's see. Still trying to find my own stream because I'm an idiot. There we go. All right. So yeah. Johnny Young. You don't know who Johnny Young is? And Johnny Young is clearly the greatest Survivor player of all time. Will we be done tonight? Probably not. I think if I started earlier, I probably would have been. Like, we probably would have been, but realistically, probably not. We'll probably be close, though. I'm still working on this version of the list that I'm doing off stream, which is a pretty much more of a like it's trying to be as consistent as possible when it comes to like longevity and like how many times they vote in the majority. It's like more of a statistical like version of the list. I got up to 520 on that one. But yeah, we'll work on this again. We're again, literally every players that we have left to rank is on screen, so it's like it is pretty close. Is it because alpha and beta in chat? I think everyone has some alpha and beta in them. But yeah, might as well just get started, right? In terms of Big Brother, it's like, yeah, it's kind of just the same, right? I mean, yeah, I mean, lyrics on the block, not a shocker. There was a talk about a flip, and that got shut down. So, yep, that's something. Actually, I just realized I didn't look up comments. I doubt there's any. I don't know. We'll see. This and please open. Thank you. By the way, we're over 160 hours of this. So that's something.
Yeah, I guess we just continue on.
Okay, yeah, shut the fuck up, me. Alright, yeah, nothing there.
Alright, guys.
Oh, there actually is comments here. What was this? Other versions of the list you're making. Also, definitely not being a part 13 player anymore is a travesty. I agree. But yeah, the different versions are like, so the first tier list we made on stream is this one. Like, essentially, I used that tier list to make the list, to make this version of the list. Then the second version of the tier list we made, which is the one that we did before this current phase. So like essentially the list as it was as we were moving up, that's this version of the list. The one I'm doing off stream is more of a statistical style of list, like one that's like taking all of the stats about the players and like ranking them that way. And then this is obviously the one that we're doing, which is a lot more like game focused. And then also I'm going to make a fifth list that is essentially just the like averaging the placements for each of the players on all these lists and then ranking them accordingly. And then the final phase, we're essentially using those 5 lists as kind of the guideline to piece together the final list, which sounds convoluted, but whatever. Need Giggle Girls to pull through? Yeah. I think that's pretty much my only hope in this season at this point. There's no way you're saying that someone who needed to win out from Final 8 on is better than the guy who dominated 2/3 of the season. As a player, it's like debatable, but like, I don't know. Depends on the situation. Smash should have been voted out anyway, unless Rizzo idols her. don't know what that's a reference to. I think that for the first list, Rachel is literally right above Kenzie. Also don't know what that's in reference to. So okay, yeah, pretty much nothing. Yeah. What are we doing here? So again, we're just continuing on with this. So who do we start with? Do we just like go? Yeah, fuck it. We'll start with Kathy, I guess. So again, like the way we're working with these returning players is first assessing them based on their best game, and then like making adjustments based on the rest of their career. Nobody's race Canada tomorrow. Oh no! What a travesty! I was so looking forward to it. But yeah. If Drew survives this week, will he be Mickey? If he survives this week, I don't know if Mickey. I mean, I guess actually, yeah, I guess like Mickey, like when she survived the Riley boot week, right? Which yeah, probably. Does Drew know he's going home? Technically, no. Like he's been told like things. I don't know if he's actually believing it yet. But he's essentially been told. I think Drew's more like Ronnie. I mean, like Ronnie was actually playing both sides though. But I don't know. Like, I think in terms of like if he stays, like maybe, yeah. Mallory told him he doesn't believe her. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I did see. Yeah, Mallory told him he doesn't believe her, and then going to like Devins and them saying, "You would tell me if you were voting me out, right?" But he just like seemingly just like coping. But yeah. Kathy, yeah, I think first assessment of her is made the final three with a lot of win equity, but had literally nobody wanting to take her to the end. Where does that land her? Like Lex obviously had someone wanting to take him to the end. Where was that tier again? Of So like this is the bottom, I feel like that she'll be, is like in this range. Yeah, fair play maybe. Fair play Camilla. Yeah, that probably makes sense. Especially because like I do think for the most part she was like at least in the end game like was trying to play optimally. Obviously like pulled over Vesepia and whatnot. Like she wins no matter what the situation is at the end. Which is actually probably more of a Camilla thing. I think I have fair play over Camilla. But yeah, I would debate her in fair play. I think she had more win equity than fair play. Actually, no, I think she's just better than fair play. Her early game's rockier, though, to be fair. But, yeah, I would say she's just better than fair play. Well, I mean, Pascal's not actually going to be in the top 75, but he is on this version of the list. Yeah, and second appearance, too. Even though that's one where, like, she didn't come anywhere really close to the end. But I guess, like, in a world where she somehow got to merge with numbers, like, she probably is the most likely winner. But, yeah. Again, I think this is fine. I guess we'll go to Ethan. One, but kind of by accident, to a degree. I mean, like, he's actually kind of Jam-Jam-esque, I guess, like, first appearance, like, winning season. But Jam-Jam's fairly low, right? Jam-Jam's there. Like, obviously, he comes back twice and doesn't necessarily have, like, an overly impressive run either time, but it's, like, a lot of him, like at least in All-Stars, like, he is able to survive fairly long, at least. Yeah, I did see that, like, Big Brother Twitter released the oral sex clip, which is insane. I mean, yeah, he's better than that tier for sure. I mean, like, he's let's see, debating him Vesepia. Like I would say bare minimum he's above Vesepia. I'm trying to debate him and Adam Klein. Adam did get saved by the final 5 round. That's the thing. So like the thing about Ethan is that Ethan has like a much cleaner path to the end than like these winners. But also the fact that he was playing for a losing situation is kind of something I want to knock him for. Would there be an argument with him and Coach? Not really, right? It's like different. He's like Coach struggles to win, and like you can argue he actually went to his ideal, at least by the end game, his ideal final 3, and still lost. I think I'm thinking like this, like here, like above Coach, but like in a different tier than Coach, but below these players who like possibly win if they don't have like an immunity run sort of thing harming them. Like him and Amber, like for this list in particular, I feel like it's a spot where like both were kind of like the betas in their dominant groups, but like at least Amber does beat Rob. And like to be fair, like it can be disputed that Ethan like Ethan versus Lex who wins. Like it's been said a lot more recently from T-Bird that Lex wins, but like it's not necessarily like 100%. Could Coach beat Albert Rick? No, Rick wins. Drop Joe for being a goat, but not Ethan for saying. I mean, Joe's I dropped Joe because he can't win in any scenario. Like Ethan wins in every scenario that doesn't involve Lex. It's like, yeah, I wasn't playing optimally, but still he's in a spot where like he wins every other situation and had pretty much everyone wanting to take him to the end, which is also very impressive. Like by the time of the final 4, literally all like everyone there takes him to the end, and he beats 2 of them. How should I dock Sophie Clark for win equity? I will. Especially on this version of the list. Yeah, but Ethan has more to his career now, though. And even with Jam Jam, I think it's a little bit different because it's not like Jam Jam's running the game the entire season like Ethan is. So I still think Ethan's better than Jam Jam in that light. Yeah, I think I'm leaning for this. I think this is docking him for wanting to go to the end of Lex, still giving him credit for like co-dominating the game while also giving him credit for his future appearances. Is Joe Hunter a bigger goat than Philip Shepard and Russell Hantz? I would say no to Philip, but yes to Hantz. It depends on like if we're ranking, like obviously it's like depends on the season. It's like if we're ranking like the seasons that they get to the end, it's like Russell Samoa is probably the most likely to win, and then probably like Joe 48. Then at that point, like I don't know, I guess Joe 50. I don't know, like all of them are dead at that point. It doesn't matter. Like at least Joe 50 wasn't hated. But like yeah, like obviously the rest are just like complete like non-winning situations. I'm not even talking about Karamoan. I think Karamoan's like way too far back to even, and generally like I don't know, would Philip even still win that? now. Colby. Is Colby just Ethan? Kind of similar thing, but actually lost. But essentially same thing of like he beats a lot of people on that cast. At least like within his alliance, he beats everybody, but just decides to go with the person that he like can't beat. But even then, it was close. Like it's not like it was a shutout, and like it came down to Final Tribal. It's not like he like was fundamentally losing coming into Final Tribal. He kind of lost it at Final Tribal. Like career wise, it's like second appearance, Ethan's better. Third appearance, Colby's bad, but like, I guess it's still better than Ethan's Winners of War appearance. But then Colby has 50. Like Ethan Africa is better than Colby Australian Outback. I'm just debating if Colby's career is enough to put him higher. But yeah, I think he's back to back with Ethan. I think I will lean Colby above Ethan. Colby's better navigation than Lex. I don't agree with that. Yeah, I just I don't know. I don't agree with that. Like I mean, like I think it's a spot where like Colby's not even like really like he's safe, but he's not like getting his way. And like Lex was also safe. It's like yeah, some people wanted Lex out, but like that was never gonna happen. Like even with the Brandon Frank thing, like that's still a spot where like Lex actually builds a really strong bond with Brandon to where like that also played a factor into things. Colby's more attractive than Lex. I mean that's probably true, but does that matter? Yeah, I'm sticking with this. Aris wins. Has like a fine winning game. I mean, like there's not really a point where he's like massively lucked out. I guess it's like I guess the thing to point out with Aris is that if there isn't the God Idol in play, like Aris could get voted out at 3. Yeah, he's essentially Ethan if Lex was a GOAT. Or not necessarily GOAT, but like if Ethan beat Lex, like essentially. But I think that makes him better. Like that is go like I mean that's like more I think that's more like Natalie White Amber coded. His second appearance isn't like great. And like generally I don't know if I even take anything away from his second appearance. It's just a lot of it's just pregame. Yeah, that's fair. Everyone wanted to take Ethan. Not everyone wanted to take Aris. I'm debating him and Amber. I'm trying to like, is there a major difference between him and Amber? Like if anything, his like general win equity is probably higher than Amber's. Like it was also a spot where like I don't know how many people are going to take Amber to the end outside of Rob. Yeah, I feel like that's appropriate. Ours is actually trying for his winning scenario. I mean, like the thing is, he wins against both, so it doesn't really matter. Like yeah, Danielle was his easier B, but like he wins anyway against Cerise, so like it doesn't matter. Either beats everyone in position where everyone in the final 4 takes him. I mean, he hasn't beat everybody, at least based on like how T-Bird talks about it nowadays. Again, that's the problem, is that like T-Bird claims that he loses to Lex. And he was trying to get the end of Lex. So like that's the big issue. Like, he beats everyone else. I mean, yeah, again, everyone's. Yeah, I mean, like, obviously, yeah, like, if you're, like, on a jury and don't want to vote for Russell, then just don't vote for Russell. I mean, like, that's just, saw Mark Long at the airport. Where was he going? Was he filming Challenge 43, which is clearly happening? Yeah, I mean, I said that earlier. That Ethan on Africa is essentially Jam Jam on 44. Again, I think slightly better, but, like, yeah, it's not that far apart. Again, Ethan's higher because of, like, future appearances. That and also, to be fair, I mean, like, I don't know if this is really playing a factor on this list, but in general, it's like, I have no faith in Jam Jam at this point. Yeah, I mean, seeing Jam Jam on, like, other things maybe have a lot less faith in Jam Jam, but to be fair, that's not really part of this assessment. Yeah, I think Aris, I'm leaning Amber. Actually debating him and Natalie White. I think it's all similar case sort of thing. Like, they're all, like, the second biggest jury threat in the end game. We're kind of the beta in terms of the, like, them having a more strategic, like, domineering, like, partner in the game. I think it's fine. Yeah, I think that's fair too. Also, the thing about like Ethan at least has a chance against Lex. Like, Jam Jam just, like, outright loses with to Jam Jam. I mean, I still stand by it at the time. Like, at time 44, it's like, I don't know. It just feels weird. Like, obviously, like, practically, it could be the case, but, like, it feels weird to have a non-winner as your number one. To where I still stand by, I probably would. Like, I mean, like, I guess now I probably have Erica, to be fair. I don't remember, actually. Who did I have higher on the last player ranking? I think I might have still had Jam Jam higher than Erica. Where is it? It is somewhere in here. Yeah, I Jam Jam above Erica still, so. Oh, I had Jam Jam above Carson here, too, so I guess that's just completely wrong. Whatever. We're at here. Yeah, we did Aris. Now on to Ozzy. Genuinely, there's an argument Ozzy could be number one here, for this list. Like, if we're talking about his best game, it's like, you could argue he should have won Cook Islands. Like, if there wasn't a surprise Final 3, it's like, Ozzy could win Cook Islands. And probably is the front runner to win Cook Islands at that point. Again, all he has to do is just vote out Yule. Outside that, like, obviously his career is, like, kind of, like, just a complete mixed bag. Like, it is an immunity run, but it's also him being, like, screwed by the format also. Like, how much of an immunity run is it really, though? It's like, what, by final... I would say final 5. I don't think they would have taken the shot at 6. I think 5 is probably the earliest I see them actually taking the shot. And yeah, in that spot, he would have needed 3 straight if it was a final 2. But he likely does. And yeah, he almost wins South Pacific, but that's not really much of anything. I would say he's better than Jenna on this list. Like, he has 5 runs that are all making it into the post-merge. While also having a season that you could argue should have been a winning season. It's like I think he's above Jenna. I think after that, it's like, yeah, I don't know. Okay, wait, how do I do this? I need more room here now. Should I just put him at the top at this point? I guess might as well. Yeah, where's it? Yeah, I think this is the bare minimum for me. I think it's the thing of like with Ozzy, it's like he's just played so much Survivor, and like has made it at least to emerge every single time. So it's like I think if we're just assessing his one Cook Islands game, he's here. I think career, it's like I think I do have to move him up. Again, it's like, yeah, he doesn't come like that close necessarily on the other seasons, but he's still just like such a consistent player at this point. Like I would lean maybe in this tier. Try to remember the coach thing. Well, coach played optimally, but couldn't win. Or at least couldn't win naturally. Adam is there. Adam needed to be at final 5. Yeah, it's like he's better than Adam Klein, right? Like I think he's better than Adam Klein on this list. Because like Adam Klein needed immunity at final 5. There's like, I mean, I guess like, yeah, Ozzy needed immunity at final 5, 4, 3 or whatever, but like it's not like these people are spotless either. And like again, Ozzy has literally fucking 5 seasons of making it deep. So it's like I think yeah, I'm thinking this. And yeah, I think I would lean the Colby Ethan tier. Then we got Tasha. Tasha's probably lower. I don't know. Tasha's the weird one because like she has like 2 runs. One of them she gets to the end and it's like a fine game. Like it's a decent game, but it's also her being a goat and she has no chance on that season. Like again, maybe like can she win some weird jury situation like Abby and don't know. Again, Abby Spencer, I think Spencer wins. So it's like I don't know how she wins, but at least she gets a lot of votes in that situation. So it's like whatever. But she has a second appearance that is, or has a first appearance anyway, that is like also decent. But she comes like, but she has like a whole bunch of window on the season, but just can't get to the end. To where it's like a spot where like she could have combined those 2 games. She's really good. But with them being in like 2 separate games, it makes it like kind of hard to assess for this list. Was this? What the fuck is that? Oh, it's her screaming. Cool. That's my pipe queen. Yeah, alright, what were you, Tasha? Went against Wentworth and Spencer. Could she though? I don't know. I'll fucking play it out. Tasha, Spencer, Jeremy votes Spencer. What do we got after that? We got Keith votes Wentworth. Kimmy votes Wentworth. Who's 7th? Abby votes Wentworth. 8th is Joe. I think Joe votes Wentworth. Then you got Steven. Steven votes Tasha. 10th is Sierra. Sierra votes Wentworth. I think Sierra wins. 11th, Kelly. Kelly votes Tasha. Savage votes Tasha. And then who's the last one? Cass. I think Cass votes Spencer. In this spot. Again, like, I don't see, like, Cass is not voting for Tasha. Like, there's no world where Cass is voting for Tasha. Like, yeah, okay, yeah, Jeremy could maybe go vote for Tasha if he knows Spencer has no chance, but it's like, this is not going here. Like, I don't believe that Tasha would win this. So yeah. This is a weird one because, like, yeah, do I move her to the GOAT tier then or no? I'm trying to remember, like, because by precedent, I think she does. Because we have, like, Jervis here, who, like, and, like, Stephanie, who are, like, GOATs on one season, the season that they made it to the end, but then weren't GOATs on the other season. So it's like, I think by precedent, she's just here. Even though that does feel too low. I mean, even assessing it, like, even if we're going to say her, like, her Cagayan game is her best game, that what puts her, like, at best here, I think. Again, she was a GOAT. She's not fucking winning. Again, I do not think there's a single situation where she actually wins the game. Does Cass lie about everything? Yeah, and actually, I'm inclined to think, if anything, Cass probably does vote for Wentworth in that spot. Because Cass is a liar. What is this? Them throwing each other under a bus every day and still chat. Yeah, it is funny how that is the case. The giggly girls or whatever their name is. Why Tasha and Cass hate each other? There was some racial stuff going on, right? I think, like, Tasha accused Cass of racial stuff, and it kind of went downhill. Tasha, Abby, Spencer. I'm inclined to think Spencer wins. Like, we can play it out. Like, Abby, Tasha, Spencer. Jeremy votes Spencer. Kelly. Like, Spencer over Abby. I think it's a spot where, like, does she waste her vote on Abby? I think is the main thing. But, like, I guess for the sake of this, we'll give it to Abby. Keith, I have no clue. Like, yeah, couldn't tell you. I'll be inclined to think Spencer, but I generally don't know. Kimmy votes. Also, I don't know. Not Spencer. I guess for the sake of this, we'll go Kimmy. But she hated all of them. So, then we got 8th place is Joe. I also don't know where Joe goes. It's kind of all over the place. I think it's between Spencer and Tasha, but I'm not 100%. 9th place is Steven. Steven votes Tasha. Sierra votes Spencer. 11th is Kelly. I think Kelly leans Tasha. Savage goes Tasha. And again, who the fuck knows with Cass? Like, generally it's a spot here where I'm inclined to think Keith and Joe go Spencer, and, like, Cass is, like, either Abby or Spencer. Like, definitely not Tasha. But yeah, again, I don't think Tasha's winning this. With Keith, I would lean Keith, but again, we can play it out. Might Spencer vote Abby out because what was it? I mean, like, I know, like, the initial notion was the fact that she was, like, a goat hugging up Spot at the end. I don't think he realized how low his jury, like, his threat level was, or whatever, his jury chances were at that point. Because I know by the end he realized that, fuck, I shouldn't have gotten to the end with Jeremy, but I don't know if he realized that at 7. Either way. With Keith, again, Jeremy votes Spencer. Wentworth probably goes Keith. Again, between Keith and Spencer, but I'll give it to Keith. Kimmy votes Keith. Abby, don't know. Generally don't know, but I would I could see her going for Keith. Actually, generally, I could see Abby going for Tasha in this spot, actually. Because I know Abby was very, like, pro-woman. So, yeah. Yeah, I think it was a spot where, like, Spencer thought he had a good chance at winning at the time because obviously, like, last time he played he did. So I think he assumed it was, like, the same case this time. But then, like, by the end, he kind of started to realize, like, once the, like, Kimmy vote happened and, like, by that point, he was like, I need to cut Jeremy, but just never had the chance at 4. And too bad he would have lost against Wentworth anyway. But anyway, who's after this? After Kimmy? It's after Abby is Joe. Joe goes probably Keith, right? Generally Joe could vote for any of them though. Like he's really up in the air. Steven goes Tasha. Sierra goes Spencer. Savage goes here. Kelly goes here. Actually, no. Kelly could go Keith. But I think for sake of this, we'll give it to Tasha. And then Cass probably goes Keith, right? I mean, okay. If it plays out this way, I guess you could, like, argue Spencer votes Tasha. But again, this is, like, such a, like, niche situation that both of them didn't play for. And even then, it's like her barely squeaking out the win. I am settling on, like, again, I think it's either credit her for the Kagion game and she's in this range, or maybe can I do both? Can I just combine both of her seasons into one? Maybe I could do that, actually. Especially because, like, it's so clear she had so much win equity on Kagion. Yeah, it's like those. Like, I feel like maybe here, if I do that, like in this tier, because, like, she obviously gets to the end, which is what these players did. But she didn't have the win equity on the season she got to the end, but she did have win equity, like, at a point. I'm trying to remember what this tier was. This tier was... Like, why is Danny Lorenzo there? I'm trying to remember why Danny Lorenzo's there. There of Jam Jam feels wrong. It does. But it's not going to last. Let's see. Yeah, actually, with Terry, that's kind of an interesting thing to think about Terry. I think the thing is, like, I still give him credit for... Had the Pagong gone the other way, he's still the most likely, or, like, he's at least a very viable winner. And even in the worst case scenario that he had, he still got to the end, even though that was through immunity wins. And he also beats everybody by the time of the final. Well, I guess by the time of by the time the merge, actually, right? I think he just beats everyone at the merge. Worst cast gameplay wise, I'd say like Thailand, right? Like I think Thailand might even be worse than Gabon. We'll see. I'm trying to remember why Daniel Lorenzo's that high. Because I could see Tasha being in that category as well. I guess she's not playing optimally is kind of an issue. Well, I guess like Danielle isn't either, kind of. I don't know. I guess by like the tail end of the game, she is for the situation she's in, but like Tasha is essentially like willing to lay down her sword for Jeremy by the end, which is kind of like Dawn coded actually. I'm thinking like here for Tasha on this season. Because it's like a season, it's a spot where like Dawn had both on one season, had the win equity and got to the end. She just went to the end of the wrong person. Tasha has those two things on separate seasons. So I think I give Dawn the credit for doing it both on one season. And put her here. Wasn't Tasha closer to Spencer than Jeremy? No. Not on the season. Like outside the show, obviously, yeah, but not on the season. Like on the season, she was literally like willing to lose the game to Jeremy. Like had Wentworth won immunity, I think she throws Spencer and Jeremy in the fire. Sasha the lowest dark blue? No, Joe Hunter is. Well, she's lying. Let's see. Again, for all the post-game press, Tasha was definitely more with Jeremy than Spencer. And was definitely willing to, like, I guess, because she wanted to go to the end with both of them, is the thing. It's like, I don't think she wanted to cut either of them. Like, her plan was to go to Final 3 with Tasha, or with Spencer and Jeremy, like, for a lot of the end game. Yeah, I think actually looking at this, I think maybe I do move Dietz down. I think maybe I'd still do dock him for the needing of the immunity run. How do I do that though? I think that's kind of the tougher thing. Because like do I just change it to? Because I think if I fully dock him, then like he's at like the bottom of this tier, right? Because like he needed to win immunity like the entire post merge. So I could do that or give him credit for like the third place of it all, but just not give him like the extra boosts like outside that, which would like put him maybe closer to here, right? Yeah, maybe I just do this. I actually don't feel that bad about it. Scout. I think he's still in this tier. I think I still keep him in this, like, the tier of like all the other returning players. But just have it at the bottom of it. I didn't move Tasha over. Jam Jam feels kind of just random at this point in this, right? Should Jam Jam... Okay. I'm kind of debating with Jam Jam because, like, part of me wants to, like, move him up. Part of me actually wants to move him, like, down to where Austin is. But I feel like Jam Jam just being here just feels kind of random when he's, like, in between a whole bunch of, like, runners up that, like, played twice. I mean, he's a Dawn, but one that actually still did get to his winning scenario, but also only played once. I think I move him with Austin. Like, I think he's just a better Austin. Just because of the notion he won. Yeah, I think that's what I'm doing. Where's JT? We haven't gotten to him yet. He's a purple tier. All right, Tai Trang. I think my gut instinct is Tai Trang's with, like, the Rupert tier. I think the problem... So, like, the problem with Tai Trang, like, obviously he has 2 really deep appearances. Both times, not the greatest win equity, but, like, both times can theoretically win. Which makes it a bit weird. I would lean probably below these players who have more blatant winning scenarios. Because even against, like, Brad Troyzan Tai, it's like it's very close. Again, I wouldn't say Tai almost won. Like, what is the situation that he wins? That he, like, that we could say he almost won. I guess it's like, okay, let me think about Ko Wrong again. So, like, if Joe doesn't get medevaced, if it's Joe, Aubrey, Tai, final 3, what does that look like again? Let's see. Joe, Tai, Aubrey. I think Michelle votes Joe. Sydney. Couldn't tell you. Yeah, I guess if it's Sydney there. What does that look like again? Michelle probably votes Sydney. Joe votes Aubrey. Jason votes Tai. Julia votes Tai. Scott votes Tai. And then Debbie is between Tai and Sydney. I guess for sake of this, we'll probably give it to Sydney. Then Nick. Yeah, I think, like, Nick might go, Sydney might go Aubrey, but either way, that gives Tai a pretty good chance, but it's like by some weird plurality vote. Yeah, what is this? You say you might not campaign this week. Yep. Mastermind. Yeah, but either way, I think I am willing to move him up for that, though. I think it's enough. Because, like, either way, he was definitely, like, negatively affected by an immunity run. So I think that puts him back in, like, this caliber. Him versus Lex, even. Yeah, I think if Joe is there, it's the same, isn't it? Just that, like, Nick votes Aubrey. And then the Sydney votes just go to Joe, which means that, yeah, Ty would also win the plurality. Yeah, I feel like... Yeah, Nick voted for Aubrey in the real life situation, yeah. Yeah, Nick, I don't think votes for Ty. But it's either... But if, like, he votes for Aubrey against... Like, with Joe there, with Sydney there, I think it's between Aubrey and Sydney. I think I'd probably still lean Aubrey. I mean, I think he does vote Aubrey. But like, I think if there's if it's a spot where like Aubrey can't win, I think he would rather vote for Sydney over Ty. But yeah, I think I'm gonna do it. I don't feel that bad about that actually. Especially with him having like 2 deep runs. Okay, I think he's definitely in the tier of Lex. Actually, I think there's an argument that Lex could be better in the sense that I think he had more blatant winning scenarios in Africa, but obviously like in like I mean also just kind of weird, but like I guess with Ty, like he has 2 very very deep runs, and I guess we can give him yeah, credit for a decent amount of win equity on Ko Wrong. So how the fuck did all these columns get so fucked? Like, why is Natalie White here? This doesn't matter though, but whatever. Anyway, yeah, we'll do that. We're here, Johnny Young. I'll be honest, the original title for stream was something that I probably can't make the title for stream. But yeah, Johnny Young is here, the greatest Survivor player of all time. He's somewhere in this range. I mean, like so in terms of his 50 game, you can argue he was immunity win away from winning the game. Like, if Aubrey goes out at 4, it does seem like Jonathan wins. No, the title was, I mean, involving the young part of the, but yeah, I definitely can't use that, and also, yeah, either way. Aubrey, we're saying could beat Rizzo in fire, but that's not what would have happened though. Like they wouldn't have put Rizzo in fire. Involving the young with Jonathan, Scoop, yes. It involved the words like them, or likes them. Yeah. But yeah, probably can't do that. I think yeah, maybe he is just with Ty. Yeah, I guess actually, yeah, because like both are players that weren't like drawing dead win equity wise, but like didn't have the biggest win equity, but also almost got to their situation, and were playing for that, and have 2 deep runs. So yeah, I actually think yeah, maybe Jonathan is Ty. Above or below though. think I lean Ty above. I don't know. It's pretty close, genuinely. I mean, because like comparing 50 to 32, I think though, like Ty in 32, Jonathan in 50, I think those are very comparable. To where like then comparing Jonathan 42 to Ty in 34, like Jonathan has more control, but I also feel like he has less win equity on 42. Like 42, I think he's drawing dead unless there's like a final two with him and Romeo. Where like Ty, it's like there's probably more scenarios where Ty can win that season. But I guess to be fair, it's not by like that much. Yeah, maybe I do give it to Jonathan. I think Jonathan's navigation through games is a lot stronger than Ty's, at least. I think Ty wins against Brad and Troy. I think it's very, very close. I guess we could play that out. Let's fucking play that out. Ty, Brad, Troy, Zan. Sarah's a weird one. Like, I think Sarah would have voted for Brad. I mean, she says at the reunion she would have voted for Brad. Like, I know she actually wanted to vote for Troyzan, but I think it's a spot where she recognized that Troyzan can't win, so she votes for Brad. But yeah, there's that. Aubrey votes Ty. Suri votes Ty. Michaela votes Ty. Fuck me, Andrea. There we go. Andrea's like in between. I would lean Brad, but I think she's in between. Sierra votes Brad, obviously. I'll just do it that way. Zeke votes Brad. 11th is Debbie. Debbie votes. Yeah, I would say Debbie votes Brad. Ozzy votes Ty. And I think Haley leans Brad. Zeke was very close to Brad. Like, Zeke wanted, like, Zeke, yeah, like, outside of Sarah, I think the next person he's most likely to vote for in the endgame is Brad. Ozzy literally says he would vote for, like, Ozzy wanted Ty to win the most out of everybody. But, yeah, I would lean Brad wins. I think it's close, though. Like, there's a couple swings. Not high, Haley, but yeah, you get the point. Like, I would say Debbie is also maybe more of a swing than anything. But I think she definitely leans Brad. I think these are pretty locked, these four. Then, yeah, these three are locked. Anyway. I'm pretty sure Sarah said she was voting for Brad at the reunion show. I know at the reunion show, the vote was Brad wins. Did she say Ty? I genuinely remembered the other way. Let's see. Oh wait, fuck! I'm not even logged in on my computer. Let's see. How credible is Cass's claim that she has 3 votes in Cagayan? 3 votes? I know she has at least 2. So That's something. Yeah, this thing. I definitely know what this is. This is definitely a thing I play all the time. What am I looking up again? Survivor. Game Changers finale. Let's see. Reunion show. Actually, I can switch it back to this now. I'm looking up on my phone anyway. Thank God I got a fucking ad for Big Brother. No way, I probably should leave it here so I can see chat. Yeah, let's see. I'm looking it up.
Yes. Okay, so now you're member. Impact and you vote. Okay, so Sarah, you're on the jury. Ty, you're in the final three. Of the people? No, I'm four. No. I know. Come on, guys. Know that if I'd have cut you like that, you would not have voted for me. I don't think so. I would have voted for Pepper. Would you just stop?
Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, I mean that's a situation where Brad cuts her, which yeah, I guess that's fair actually.
Everybody that's in the jury, including Sarah, but not you, Ty, because you're now in the final three.
Dude, I love it. Like Jeff has to fucking corral everyone just to fucking do this.
Okay, you're not in the jury.
Wait.
Including Sarah, but not
I'm trying to
you, Ty, 'cause
pause.
You're now in the final three. Who would have voted for Brad? How many people?
Okay, it is 5. So yeah, it's still a tie. Then Haley's like hesitant, but yeah, it's Debbie, Zeke, Sierra, Andrea are up, and then Haley's like hesitant up. So yeah, that would still mean Brad wins, but it's like tiebreaker. I generally remember the other way though with Sarah. I guess I just generally misremember that. Let's see where we at. This. But yeah, so in that spot, yeah, I think it really is like Haley's like the major swing. I don't think many of those tie votes are swings though. Okay, cool. Yeah, like shut up, me. There we go. Is that about I have tie 2 in my Game Changers player ranking? I mean, I don't know if I would. I don't think his game's that good. But I don't know. Like it's not like anyone's game outside of Sarah on that season's that great. But still. What are we doing here? Okay, this is all part of the Ty Jonathan debate. I generally feel like it's very close. I really don't even have like a major like 0.4 or against in my mind. Maybe I'll go Ty higher. At the end of the day, like a lot of the criteria for this list is how close they were to winning, and I think Ty is closer to winning Game Changers than Jonathan is to 42. So I think for this list at least, I'm going this way. All right. Now we're on the best one-time player tier, along with Rob Cesternino and Genevieve for whatever reason. Rob C. Is Rob C just Lex? I guess second appearances isn't as good. I think first appearances is kind of Lex coded. Like it's a spot where he gets a 3 with a lot of win equity, and 2 of the 3 are taking him to the end. 3 just gets unlucky with the immunity run at the end. Yeah, I think with this list, I think give Lex a bit more credit for a second appearance, but I'm thinking Rob right there. I'm I'm thinking through him and Hatch. Rob beats Jenna, but that was never happening anyway. Like, neither of them were taking each other to the end. But yeah, Rob does beat Jenna. I mean, it's fine with me to make fun too. I mean, in the sense that, like, Matthew was, like, he does in the sense that, like, Matthew, what do you call it? Matthew quit or whatever. Like, if Matthew didn't drop out, like, if Matthew somehow won, he was taking Rob. But he also didn't want to win. Yeah, I'm debating him and Hatch. I think outside that, he's probably around here. I think I'll just settle here for Rob. Actually, let's deal with Genevieve first because the rest of these are one-time players, right? Oh no, Devin, not Devin. Fuck yeah, Mike White's there also, but fuck it, we'll just do it in order then. But yeah, all right, Dom. I mean, is he just number one? I think the argument against it would be the fact that he's only a one-time player. But he does come very close to winning. I mean, if Wendell doesn't win fire at 4, he wins the game. Even with Wendell winning fire, he gets to a tied vote. Even in that tied vote, it's a spot where, like, there were a couple, like, weird votes. So yeah, I think Dom's probably just the best. How dare he not look at Angela? Imagine that Angela like saw Dom looking at him and said, "Oh my god, he has crazy eyes." Yeah, Devin Pinto. Devin Pinto's probably closer. I think Devin Pinto on paper is here. I'm debating if the notion of the the fire making being like a last second twist is something that like maybe boosts him up a bit. But like outside that, I think he's just there. I think he's with like the Sophie B, Ian sort of tier of like there's a player he couldn't beat, like kind of gets screwed out taking them out before the end. I mean, I think Devon's probably wins against Ryan and Chrissy. It's not guaranteed, but I think he probably does win. I think it's like the same thing as like a chase. Like it's probably not as definitive as a Sophie or an Ian, but I think it's around the same thing as a chase though. I think it comes down to final tribal. I think it's a lot of up in the air votes between Devin and Ryan. I don't think Ryan for sure wins. I think it's between the two of them. Like I think like Desi, Cole, like those sort of people are like very much in between. Like again, like I guess again we'll play it out. So Devin, Chrissy, Ryan, Ben votes Ryan. Then you have Mike, who is in between Chrissy and Devin. One of the two. Then you got Ashley, who votes Devin. Lauren votes... Okay, cool. There we go. Lauren votes Devin. Joe votes Ryan. JP is literally anybody. Ashley was burned by Devin, but I think she still votes for Devin. Like, if not, she's voting for Chrissy. I don't think she's voting for Ryan. But I would still lean towards her voting for Devin. Then, yeah, Cole and Desi are also in the middle. I think it's a lot of up in the air votes. JP votes the bid higher than the item I have bid on eBay. I lost like pretty much every auction I had bid on today. And again, I also expect that because generally like it's actually kind of like I literally like bid knowing I'm gonna be beaten, but it's like there's a chance, you know. What if I get a like $100 game for like $10? That'd be crazy. But yeah. I think Devin on this list, maybe I will put him above, like, I think in this tier. I don't know, I'm still debating just the notion of, like, how twist screwy his elimination is. Like, it does make me want to put him at the top of it. I think Devin and Ryan should be... I think Devin plays a much stronger game than Ryan, though. Like, I think Devin plays a very, very impressive game on HHH. I think Ryan plays a very sloppy game. So I think if we're just, like, going by, like, navigation through the game, I think Devin is, like, way higher than Ryan on this. I think I am going to go with this. I feel good enough about Devin to put him here. I think he's at the top of this here. And it's only like 10 spots or something, right? It's like 14 spots. It's like whatever. Mike White. I think he drops, right? It's like I think the best I'm giving Mike White is the Colby tier. Like he's someone that theoretically, like he actually is like kind of similar to he's kind of similar to Ethan, right? Like he's like Jam Ethan, like that sort of mold of someone that like had a decent amount of win equity, but he ultimately chooses to go to the end of the person that he can't beat. Which is a pretty big issue. I don't even know if he's above Colby on this. I'm generally trying to think, like, why would he be above Colby? Like, I don't even know if there's, like, what is the argument for him even being above Colby on this list in particular? It's like both went to the end against someone that they couldn't beat. Like, I guess just from the fact that, like, Mike was aware of it, but it's like, does that matter? Like, if anything, that actually makes it worse to me. And even then, it's like, it's a spot where, like, Colby actually comes close. Like, Colby, yeah, it's like, he literally just needs to, like, answer, like Alicia or Jerry's questions better, and he wins the game. Where, like, Mike, it's like, he can't win the game anyway. I think he's worse than Colby on this. I would more so debate Ethan. I think Ethan has more win equity. Actually, is he just... I think he's closer to Coach. He's most likely to get the Matt Williams treatment in 51. You think I remember the cast of 51 at this point? Like, genuinely couldn't even tell you the cast of 51 right now. I'm actually generally trying to... Who's on Star? What's the single Digis guy? That guy? That's a guy. House 52 cast not fully out yet. I believe it was the same case with 48, if I remember right. That we didn't get that, like, a lot of that cast was like really, really late. Yeah, Brady. I was thinking it was Brody. I know there's a Rob on the season, right? There's a Linnea. That's a person. She's very poop positive. There's a girl from The Boys. She's there. There's a Devin. That's something. Yeah, dude. Generally, I don't think I can name like how many of the cats can I actually name? It's probably an insanely low number at this point. Oh, Kilby. Kilby's there. Yeah, I think that's about all I got. Oh, TikToker. Yeah, I wouldn't remember that. Yeah, Lewis. That's a guy. He's on Survivor. Yeah. Again, I would not remember that. Yeah. I think Mike White. I think I'm gonna go with this. I think I'm gonna go above Coach. For Mike White. Or maybe even below Coach. Like, Coach was at least, again, Coach at least got to an optimal final 3. Yeah, I think below Coach. Like, I think Coach is closer to winning South Pacific than Mike is to winning Dave vs. Goliath. I don't agree that Mike was closer to winning. I don't think Mike was winning either way at that final tribal. Like, even if Mike didn't give up his game at that point, I still don't think Mike's winning that. Coach, I think, genuinely had a shot. Yeah, but he also didn't want to. Like, if he wanted to and couldn't, then yeah, he's higher. But he didn't want to. Lead the Big Brother Twitter. Yeah, that's I think that's insane also. Gavin, I think Gavin's just here. I think he's in the Devin Pinto, Sophie, Ian tier. I think he's just with Devin. Like, I think he's another one that, like, I don't know if he necessarily wins, but I think the screwy nature of it kind of just boosts him up even more. I would say Devin was probably more screwed. But Gavin... Actually, no, I think they're... Yeah, no. I'll just give Gavin below Devin. Jesse. Jesse's essentially an immunity win away from winning, or fire making win away from winning. Isn't necessarily screwed though. So I'm thinking Jesse probably just moves down. Like, he's probably closer to just like Lauren Beck tier. Yeah, he gets screwed, like, in the sense that, like, he plays his end game in the way he does because fire making exists. But also, I think it changes up too much to really give credit for it otherwise, where it's like, yeah, he doesn't take Cody out at 6, if that's the case, but also, it's like, then Cody could just win final immunity and beat him anyway, or... in that spot, it's like, would he even have the respect from the jury, like, that he did in a real life situation to beat, like, someone like a Carla if she accidentally gets to the end? It's like, I don't know. Is there an argument with him and Rafe, maybe? Yeah, being taken by Gabler is a good point. Like, I still think either way, Actually, no, I guess the Gabler point's actually kind of helping it. But either way, that would just be fire, though. I think I'm leaning Rafe tier is where I'm leaning with Jesse. I don't think it's enough to be in this tier because it's still like with Jesse, it's like he would need what, Gabler to win final immunity or him to win final immunity. And with Devin, though, it's like Devin was meant to get to final 3 in a spot where he very possibly wins. Like Jesse is in a spot where like he needs a lucky situation at 4 to get to the end. Like I do think that's different. Yeah, if anything, actually, it's like worse odds than Rafe. Rafe had a 2 and 3. Like Jesse essentially had a 50-50. And even then, it's like, I don't know. I think it's just different. I think he's like closer down here. Because like with these players, it's like you can argue, like with Rafe, it's like you can argue he was screwed by Danny's immunity win. With these players, you could say that he was that they were screwed by other wins. Like with Jesse, it's the opposite. It's like he was the one that needed the immunity win. Like he's not screwed by other people's wins. He's the one that needed the win. And yeah, it's like not I don't really fault him too much for a situation he got put in. But like I think when it comes to this list in particular, I think that drops him down. I think like on the final list, it's like, yeah, I'll put closer to like a Devin Pinto and a Gavin. But I think for this list, like I think to be consistent, I think he drops down. I think he's more of a Lauren Ashley Beck. Like he's better. I think he's probably in this, like, I think maybe here. He's like, he can't be below Cody, I don't think. Like, that'd be kind of crazy. But he gets the 4 with a lot of win equity, but had no one willing to take him to the end. Well, I should say nobody. Gabler, but like, still. Yeah, he's better than Lauren. Like, yeah, he's better than Lauren. It's just, I don't think it should be that big of a gap, though. Yeah, I'm going with this. And again, it doesn't matter. It's going to fucking change on the final list. But I think to be consistent, I think he's here. Ryan's by himself? Why is Ryan here again? Yeah, fuck it. Maybe I will move Ryan up. Just feels weird that Ryan's just here. Like by himself for some reason. Maybe I go with Rafe for Ryan. I don't know. It's like him being screwed, but also it's like it's not like his game was that good. Maybe I do put him in here. Maybe he's at like the bottom of this tier. Like I still give him credit for like possibly winning against Devin. Again, it's close. But again, I don't think his game is as strong. That's where I think he's probably just at the bottom of this tier. Is everything else fine? Yeah. All right. Then we got Carson. Carson's probably around here, right? It's like if Heidi doesn't win final immunity, he wins the game. So really, it might be higher. I think he's actually. I think he's high because like we have like Ian here. Like in comparison to Ian, like Carson technically had like 2 people wanting to take him to the end, and he still beats, and he beats every. Actually, yeah, I guess that's also the thing, is that Ian, yeah, because like these people don't beat everybody. They just like, because they get screwed by immunity win because they don't win against the person that does the immunity wins. Carson beats everybody. Is Carson number 1? I actually think there's an argument that Carson's number 1 on this. I don't know. Ultimately, is it that different from a Lex and a Rob, though? Because Lex and Rob also had the better odds coming into Final Immunity and lost it. But he does demolish pretty much everyone in a jury vote. Yeah, I think he's number 1. I think I'm going to go number 1. Because, like, with Lex and Rob, there's at least, like he's not getting, like, every vote. It's not going to, like, be a steamroll either way. Like, with Carson, it's just, like, he just demolishes everybody. Carolyn was taking Carson, yeah. Where is it? This. Yeah, I think it likely like Karen gets voted out in a 2-1-1. Either that or Carolyn like smartens up and causes a tie if it's a vote. But I think the intention would be for Carson and Jam Jam to vote out Carolyn to vote out Jam Jam, and Heidi votes out Carson. But yeah, Mother Beef. Fuck. Okay, wait. There. Mother Beef. She's moving down. She's in this range. Probably better. Jesse. Let's see. So, like, I think, like, her first appearance is this. Like, that's why I'm putting her here initially. It's like, I think her first appearance is this. Her first appearance is, or maybe, like, a little bit lower, but either way, you get the point. Like, again, Final 5 boot, a lot of win equity, beats everybody, but also had no path to the end. Second appearance is pretty good. She doesn't do anything that wrong, but also, like, yeah, doesn't make it deep, but was the best case for best cast for New Era gameplay wise? It's probably like 47, I would guess. Yeah, Camilla probably. Yeah, that's probably fine. I'm debating above or below. I think, like, Camilla makes the final 4. Genevieve only makes the final 5. But I think Genevieve's second appearance is better. Like, as a player in the grand scheme of things, I would go Genevieve over Camilla. Like, I think Genevieve will be above Camilla in the final list. Like, that's why Genevieve is as high as she was, even though she probably will drop down from that in the final list anyway. But, like, still, I think she is above Camilla on the final list. But for this list, I think I will go above. I think I'll give her the credit for 50 being pretty strong. If anything, Genevieve might even be like, I don't know. So Genevieve's interesting because, like, in comparison to Kathy and Fair Play. Well, no, okay, no. In comparison to Fair Play, I think mostly like obviously she has like way more win equity than Johnny Fairplay. Um, hmm. Is Fair Play like maybe a tad too high? I guess the thing about Fair Play though is that he's playing for his optimal final like 2 situations. Because I feel like Kathy, Camilla, Genevieve feel more similar than Fair Play. Like Fair Play just feels kind of random in that grouping. So maybe I drop Fair Play like a tad, like maybe to like where Sam Phelan is. Why is Fair Play dark blue? Just because that was my gut feeling. Yeah, I'm leaning towards Fair Play, at least away from these people. I could really go above or below, really. I think I'll lean below. Maybe I go above Sam though. Maybe it's just like slightly below. He's like ultimately it's not like Sam had like that much of a solid path to the end. Like either, so like, even though Sam is a finalist and Fair Play isn't. But yeah, I'll go. Like, I think I'll lean Genevieve above Camilla. Like very, very close on this list, but I think I will lean that. Yeah, it is funny that fucking Brett LaBelle is a top 70 player on this list. Maddie's number 69, thank God. Which, yep, that's definitely gonna fucking change. But whatever. Tina Wesson. She's lower than Carson Dominic probably. Like her win is like good, but it's not like she had like the biggest win equity in the world, and like generally just from her first appearance, I would say like she's not even like that much better than Colby. Like I mean like her first appearance, she's probably like this Amber level, I think. If that. Because even then she has like argue for the win at the end. Yeah, just in total, she's just Amber. That might be the case. Like obviously, like All Stars is pretty reminiscent to Winners at War. Blood versus Waters, one where it's like, how much credit do I give her really for that? But higher than Aris. Let's see. Her and Aris. I mean, I think Aris more blatantly beats Cirie, though. Like, I think that's my, like, criticism of Tina, is that she was, like, blindly going to DNF Colby, not knowing if she would beat him or not, and when she gets there, she, like, barely does. Sure, at least, like, Amber had a pretty good idea she would beat Rob. Aris, like, would have beaten Cirie. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go here for Tina on this list. I think it's a spot where, yeah, she beats Colby, but barely. Like I think I put her at the bottom of this tier. RS3 feels similar to Colby Tina. I mean, the thing is, I just think RS wins though. And like, because I think with Colby Tina, it's like obviously there's like a few votes that were in the middle with like Jerry and other person. Alicia. But like Aris, Suri, it's like Terry, Austin, Sally are all like locks Aris votes. And then like Courtney was like anti-Suri. So it's like that pretty much already gives him the win. It's like Shane, Danielle, and Bruce probably do go Suri in that spot. But like I feel like Aris's 4 votes are like pretty locked in. Yeah, but again, it's like Tina wins, but like she didn't have locked in votes like that though. It's like the votes that Tina like. So Tina ends up getting what? It gets Jerry, Alicia, Elizabeth, and Keith, right? Elizabeth and Keith are locked votes. Alicia and Jerry were very much in the middle. And like had Colby just answered their questions better, they'd vote for Colby. So it's like I think it's a spot where Tina's much closer to losing the game in that situation than Aris is. Yeah, I think like again, this is basing around like how close they were to winning and that sort of thing. I think Aris is like more like his win is more secured in that spot than Tina's is. All right, where are we at? 39. Where did we start today? Like, so I got 17 people done. Are we gonna finish this tonight or not? I don't know. Let's see. So we got Heidick, Mike Holloway, and Savannah. I think Savannah and Mike are probably moving down. Heidick, I'm not sure. Like Heidick runs a lot of the game, wins against Clay, like struggles against most other people. But it's still like a fairly strong game. I think amongst this field, I think he probably is number 1. Yeah, I think for this list, I think he probably is number 1 of the people so far, just because of how like how much he controlled the game and how much he like. Yes, this is Heidick's listed. Yeah. Yeah, Mike and Savannah, I think are definitely moving down. I have to think through Savannah, but Mike is moving down quite a bit, I feel like. So, like, in this spot, Mike needs to win out from, what, final 9 on? So, that's a pretty big hit. Because, like, Jenna is here. Jenna only has to win from, like, what, final 4 on? Technically. Like, they're above Terry Dietz, at least. Worse than Carson win equity. Like, I mean, I agree with that point. I'm more so like debating right now. It doesn't matter that much. So, like, what happens to Carson is like as if Jan wins final immunity, right? But Jan probably takes Brian to the end. Why are Drew and Omer so low on this version of the list? Because they get voted out 6 and it's kind of their own doing. And they don't really have like a genuine path to the end at that point. Brian's the June of Survivor. Is that the same? I feel like Maggie's the like the Brian of Survivor. But either way. Like, is it better Rachel? Where is Rachel on this anyway? Here. Yeah, Mike has a better early game. Rachel needs to win out a bit less, though. So... I think he's definitely above Devon's. I think I'll probably put him with Rachel. Brian's just Tina, but lesser win equity, and his 4 votes weren't even locked. I mean, they were locked, though. Like against Clay. And that's not what this list is at this point. Is it replicable? Again, that'll matter more in the final list, but that generally doesn't matter at all on this list. Anyway. Again, I think Maggie and Brian are like a 1-for-1. Like I think that's just literally a 1-for-1 comparison. Yeah, I think I'm gonna put Mike here. Like in the tier with Rachel and Kenzie. I think below. I still think the fact that he needs to win out for like 2 extra rounds is enough to dock him. Savannah is just kind of all over the place. At least Maggie had a few winning scenarios. Did she? Like, I guess against the Sovereigns? Yeah, I guess against the Sovereigns. But, no. Savannah. I actually want to look this up just for a second. Like, it doesn't actually matter, but I actually do want to know. Like, how many rounds did she need, like, some sort of immunity for? Actually, let me see how many times she wins immunity. Yeah, probably this chart's more helpful. So she doesn't here, but like she technically was the target, but they voted for Nate as a safe vote. She needed immunity here, so that's 1. Did she need immunity here? I'm not sure during the Alex vote. I think that's kind of like up in the air. That was kind of swap screw at 10. Not really. I think she was going to be voted out even if it was a normal vote. Like, I think either way, it's like I think she was pretty dead to rights had that just been a normal round of the game. Like, I'll dock her for this. This I'm kind of like up in the air on. Oh, she doesn't need it there. She doesn't need it there. This, I don't think Sophie would have actually done it, right? And I think they would have voted for Steven. I think this is a lot more feasible. This is probably a spot where she could be voted out. And then obviously she needed fire for this. So I think it's like 2 to 3 rounds. Which, yeah, I think that's probably here. I think it's above Rachel, below Kenzie still, just because Kenzie only had 1 wonky round, technically. Wait, no, I'm dumb. This. Needs to be as safe at the Alex vote. Yeah, I didn't think she was, but I wasn't like 100% sure. Yeah. All right. Well, we'll talk more about Brian. Yeah, I can see Brian below Carson. Brian versus Dom. So, okay, with Brian, like, it's a spot where, like, he just completely runs that season. But I do think win equity is probably, like, a bigger factor with this list, which I guess, like, yeah, to be fair, it's like his win equity is not great. Like, he was at least playing for his optimal final two. Like, at least there's that. But even that was one that he barely wins. So Dom and Carson about what? Like, which part of that? Yeah, I'm leaning towards just moving him down, actually, because of his win equity. Run the game. I mean, yeah. Yeah, I'm talking points of why Brian should be lower. I mean, genuinely, of the, like, people up here, it's like his win equity probably is the worst out of all of them, right? Of, like, all the winners here. Like, even Ty and Jonathan probably have, like, more winning scenarios. Which is why, against Jan... Actually, maybe, you know what? I'll fucking play this out. Of Jan versus Brian. Yeah, Jonathan and Ty both have 2. For whatever that's worth. Where Brian theoretically only has 1. Yeah, what? Clay... Actually, it's just a fucking Jan win, isn't it? Actually, yeah, it's just a fucking Jan win. Emily. Also having worse win equity than Jonathan, yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. I mean, that's the point people make about Brian all the time. Like, why Brian is the best player of all time is because it doesn't matter that he only wins with 4 votes because, like, he knew he was going to win anyway. Rizzo's talked about how he's pretty sure Jonathan would have beaten Emily. And that's why Jonathan made a bad move in taking out Emily. I mean, Brian, you can't even go back to final 10. Or actually, no, you can get to 10. Because he probably, maybe he beats Xian, but you can't go back to final 9. I think I'm at least doing this. Probably those votes. I don't know. Yeah, it's like I am leaning more Tina, especially considering again. I just think the win equity thing is a pretty big thing with this list. Especially with him also just being a one-time player. I actually feel like I'm going below Tina, generally. Like, again, it's a spot where, like, at least Tina also beats Keith. Yeah, but still Keith was going to take her to the end. Like, even if Keith won Final Immunity, she still wins the game. Brian had Jan win Final Immunity, he loses the game. How Tina wasn't playing optimally? She just demolishes Keith in a jury vote where she wanted to take Colby to the end, where she had to like fight for her final votes or whatever. But I think I am leaning this though. If there wasn't a split tribal at 9 and 8 of 50, do Aubrey and Ozzy go out at 9 and 8? At 9, so Devins would have had an idol. Yeah, it might have been Emily, or it might have been Aubrey. I mean, at 9, because yeah, it would have been Ozzy would have had an idol, and then Devins would have had an idol. So yeah, it probably lands on Aubrey. And then yeah, Ozzy probably gets taken out right after that. Though, to be fair, maybe Suri could do something about that. But I don't know. Amber knew she was going to be robbed. Or like, yeah, knew as in like she knew that she, yeah, it's not like a spot where like she like knew 100%, but like she knew her best chance was to go to the end of Rob, who the jury hated. Like, it's not like she like specifically knew like every vote and like how all that was going to play out, but like she obviously had a very good idea that the jury hated Rob. I think the only thing is Amber might be below Tina. Like, I think that's like close. Outside of that, I feel fine with Amber being here. But yeah. Chris and Erica. Chris. So Chris has a lot of win equity on that season. Beats Twyla, beats Scout, beats Eliza. Yeah, he really just beats pretty much everybody. Had Twyla taking him to Final 2 by the end. That's pretty good. Is he just number 1? Like, is he just a Carson? Like, I guess, like, Carson's more dominant throughout the entire game, but, like, in terms of, like, win equity-wise, it's like he also beats almost everybody, and he still had multiple people in the end game taking him to the end. Better than Lex. I think Lex's win equity is less than Chris's. In terms of, like, I don't know. Like, I think there's, like, more people that were anti-Lex than they were with Chris. Like I said, almost everybody. Like, Eliza takes him to the end. Julie takes him to the end. Yeah, he only takes Scout to the Final 3 because he knew he could beat her in Final Immunity. Yeah, I think Chris is number 1 on this so far. And then Erica. I'm thinking Erica versus. So yeah, I mean even Erica versus Chris. Like Erica seems to have the biggest win equity after the Shan boot essentially on that season. Like even against Ricard, supposedly it's like very very close, and she probably pulls out the win. Yeah, Erica goes out for if Xander is an idiot, but also it's like, I don't know, I guess credit her for Xander being an idiot to a degree. I don't know. Like she had Heather obviously wanting to go to the end with her. What did Deshaun want it for? I think he did want Erica out, right? like she's definitely up here for sure. Maybe I do just go with Chris. Her early game's not as good as Chris's. Her post-merge not as sloppy as Chris's early post-merge. Yeah, Xander just had a... Actually, wasn't the story that, like, he knew Erica was the bigger jury threat, but he didn't want Erica to have, like, the moment in front of the jury? Like, wasn't that the thing? Is that, like Xander thought Erica was good at fire, which it turned out she wasn't, but, like, he thought she was, so he was worried that if he put her in fire, she would win, and then she would look really good in front of the jury, so he, like, rather just, like, not gave her that opportunity. Does Jeff regret making fans his favorites of Final 3? Probably not. Like, I'm sure he's perfectly fine with Parvati winning that season, especially nowadays. Better win equity of what? Of, like, who, I mean, are we talking about? Yeah, I don't... The Hourglass, I'm not really putting much credence into that. I think I will go below Chris. I think it's very, very close. But I do think my gut instinct is to go below. More so based... But I think their win equity is, like, pretty similar. And I think for me, determining factors, I think the early game is rougher for Erica, even though, again, she's still not in a bad spot, but, like, Chris was, like, with Bubba controlling things in the pre-merge. I mean, Erica really doesn't even gain control until, like, final 8s, and, like, that's a spot where, like, you can argue Chris also has control in that portion. Like, by the time, like, final, like, 6, I would say, like, Chris pretty much has a lot of control too. So it's like, I think I would lean Chris still over Erica. I think it's very, very close, but yeah, I think I'm going Chris. Okay. Malcolm, Kelly Wentworth, David Wright, Charlie is a tier. Malcolm's probably just moving down for one. Wentworth's also moving down, I think. I think they're all just moving down. I don't know, Charlie's weird, but so, like, with Malcolm, his best game's Philippines, gets the final 4. Did have Denise wanting to take him at the end initially, but then fucked that up. Denise was pretty much the only person willing to take him to the end. But again, Chris had more control in the pre-merge. It's a spot where, again, we're talking about, like, round by round. I think Chris has more control in more rounds of the game than Erica does. Like, Chris is controlling the entire pre-merge of both of his tribes, which is what? From, like, 18 to 11? Like, Erica is essentially at the whims of Deshawn, in the early portions of the game. Erica is running the final 7 on, but you can argue that Chris is running the final 6 on. It's like, I think Chris is better. It's not by much, but I think Chris is better. Malcolm's better Jesse. Yeah, it's probably somewhere in that range. I think Wentworth is also probably going to be in that range as well. Like, her best game is a game where she gets the 4 and has a decent amount of win equity, but again, no one wanting to take her to the end. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much all there is to say about that. Is David Wright just the same thing also? I think pretty much also. Yeah, Kelly's actual game is worse for sure, so... either way, I think we're at least going to move him down. Let's go, like, around here. let's see. So Jesse versus Malcolm. I think, yeah, Malcolm. Yeah, I think Malcolm and Jesse are like pretty even for the first appearance, and then like the fact that Malcolm returns, I think gives him the slight edge. Like both were at the final four in spots where they had one person willing to take him to the end, and like to be fair, I think like Malcolm blows it up more, like because obviously Gabler still was willing to take Jesse to the end, but again Malcolm still has like 2 other appearances. I mean, I think like practically Edge of Extinction is probably Wentworth's actual best game. It's just one where she's the furthest, well, not the furthest, but like she's farther away from winning. Where like practically Wentworth is actually probably closer to these people, like closer to Genevieve and Kathy, where she doesn't really have like a particularly like dominant run. It's a lot of like just her being in and out of the majority. 69's it's Hayden. Well, might not be for long. Actually, it's about to be Ass Muncher. Ass Muncher's gonna be 69. Thank God. But yeah, I think Kelly feels more similar to Kathy and Genevieve there. Where Malcolm and Jesse are just like running a lot more of the game. Like Wentworth is kind of fortunate to even make it to the end. But I think like considering like all of her career, it's still like enough. Like because like arguably like you could definitely argue that like she needed an idol at 11 and then like needed an idol at 6 and like all those sort of stuff like knock her down to even like here. Or even like here, genuinely. Yeah, Ass Muncher, my favorite. Cody Ass Muncher. You don't see Ass Muncher right there? That's Ass Muncher. But yeah, I still think Kelly, like I think she's around Mother Vive is my sense for this list. This is not Wentworth's list, yeah. That'll be the final list where she's number 1. Actually, genuinely, is she lower? Kind of thinking about it, it's like she gets the final 4 with no path, and also there's like 2 rounds before that she kind of like lucks out, and even then need like an immunity win at 5. So it's like, is she like closer to like here? Is she that different from like a Savannah and like a Mike Holloway and like Rachel, like these sort of people, but just one that didn't win in like practicality? I mean, at least Eliza didn't need idols or immunity wins to get the 4 for a decent amount of win equity. Wait, where did I put Kelly? Oh, she's still up here. Okay. I think I'll dock her. Okay, what do I do here? So like with Kelly Wentworth, I think I'll dock her 3 rounds. I don't think it's a spot where I'm gonna be like, okay, she like wasn't even supposed to make it past 11, so I'm gonna put her like at the bottom of this. Like I think I'll still give her credit for like navigation through parts of that game. I'll dock her for her 2 idol plays and her immunity win at 4, which means final 7, right? So yeah, I think that's here then. He's what, Edge of Extinction? She makes it to 9 on that season. Like, I don't know, maybe there's a boost here for... Well, but I'm thinking Andrea plays 3 times also. Yeah, I think she's here on this list. Again, she's going to be higher in the final list, but... I think to remain consistent, I think she's at the top of this list. Or this tier, I mean. And then David Wright. David Wright is what? He is Final Four. A lot of win equity. No one wanted to take him to the end, though. That's an issue. Does pretty cleanly get the 4, though. Yeah, I think he probably just is Malcolm and Jesse. I'm trying to think of where exactly in this. Malcolm at least had Denise wanting to take him at the like Malcolm and Jesse at least had somebody willing to take him. David technically doesn't. But then again, he is a 2-time player. I'm thinking Malcolm and then David. Rob C. I have Rob C higher because Matthew was going to take him to the end. If he won, which too far he didn't want to win. Which, yeah, too far, that's a pretty decent doc actually. I love how, like, David Wright's just one spot or like a couple spots above Brett LaBelle. I'm not sticking with this. Claire, I'm not having Brett LaBelle above Genevieve on the final list. Like, that's not happening. But it's happening here at least. Actually, why is there such a big gap between Lex and Rob and Malcolm and David? Yeah, but that's still, like, I feel like it shouldn't be that big of a gap. Let me think this through. Well, okay, with Lex... Okay, no, Lex and Rob were... It was the immunity win thing, now I think about it. It was that they were screwed by an immunity run. Malcolm and David aren't, right? They're the ones that need to go in the immunity run. Lex and Rob were in spots where, like, if Jenna didn't win all the immunities, he probably wins. Okay, I remember now. Okay, it's fine. Charlie. I don't know what to do, Charlie. Actually, why is Charlie this actually feels a little high for Charlie, but maybe not. Like on the, like even on the final list, I mean. I think for this list, he's kind of like a worse Dom, right? Like, Dom at least did get to the tie. Charlie didn't. And I guess it's like, do I give him a boost for a second appearance? But it's like, I don't know. Like, his second appearance is kind of just like, whatever. I guess, like, he starts off in an okay position. But, again, there's not really much to really get from his second run. So yeah, it's like I think he's with Dom. Yeah, I think my instincts to go lower on this list. Like, I think on the final one, I probably will still lean Charlie. But in this one, it's like, again, Dom is like more like screwed because like even with Dom, it's like a spot where like he wanted to get Wendell out, he just couldn't. And I guess you could argue that with Kenzie, and like couldn't because of like Wendell having idols and immunity wins, or fire making. And again, you could argue that with Charlie with him wanting Kenzie out, but it's not really like it's not the exact same at least because like he could have voted out Kenzie for a while and just didn't. It's like with Wendell, it's like it doesn't make sense for him to strategically do so until like the tail end, but by that point it was too late. Finishes tonight? Probably not. I don't know. It's already 312. So likely no, but we'll see. We have 30 people left. And again, I think the top is like fairly easy. Like the top is like if we really want to stick with the criteria, maybe there's some debates, but like I know what I'm doing with the top. It doesn't matter. Like do I really need to waste like an hour talking through these people for something that doesn't matter? Like it's like again, like I know what I'm doing on the final list, so it doesn't really like mean much just to like have it ranked for this specific list, but whatever. Okay, these people I think they're moving down. At least some of them are. Tom, I think, is moving down. I mean, Tom, yeah, he's a good amount of win equity, but also shouldn't have got there. He is probably somewhere here. Danny Boatwright, Adam. Who's the other person in mind? Jenna. Like, realistically, I think Tom only needs 4. 4 and 3. So, I guess that's what Jenna needed, though, isn't it? I think we're being technical. But also, Jenna was, like in the minority for a few rounds before that, so... See, I like either way, it's like I think he's definitely above Jenna. Like he's bare minimum this. I would lean closer to here. Like Danny need 1 immunity win. Adam need a final 5 idol. Maybe he's like... Maybe he's like here. Like I think at the bottom of this tier. Like I think these two only need 1 round of immunity. Tom needed 2. So I think there's that. Denise. Denise is interesting. I mean, like, she almost gets voted out at 4, kind of. At least, like, she was not aware Malcolm... Like, she plays the entire end game, not really recognizing her position in the game. Like, yeah, I guess, yeah, she is essentially like a worse Natalie White. Or at least Natalie White beats the Russell. Like, Denise doesn't beat her Russell in this spot. Will Brett be top 100? Probably not. I don't know. Like, I don't remember. Where is he on this version? Like, this was the last tier list we did. Where's Brett in this? I would say he's at 180. He's going to be higher than that. I would guess, like, somewhere in this range, like 120 maybe. I don't know. We'll see, though. Like, he's moving up from where he was, but I don't know if he's going to move up that much. Yeah, Final Seven's also kind of rocky there. Yeah, I think she's definitely a worse Natalie White. But then again, she's a 2-time player though. I kind of forgot. Like, I kind of forget she even was on Winners at War. To where, yeah, I don't know if that's like enough to boost her up even more, but if we're going on just first appearance, she's a worse Natalie White. Second appearance is like not good, but she makes it all the way to 6. So that's something. I think she's Ethan on her first appearance. Like, the problem with like Ethan, it's like, yeah, he plays more and he has like some good moments, but like he still doesn't make it all the way to the end again. Like, at least like Denise makes it all the way to the final 6. Yeah, I'm debating like I think she's definitely above Ethan, and I think she's definitely below Natalie. Like, she's somewhere in that range. I think, yeah, I think I'm gonna go above Ethan. I think it's like, I think a spot above Ethan. I think the problem for me is that she was playing so much of her game in her wanting to go to the end against Malcolm, who she would have lost to. And I guess like credit to her for like figuring out that he wasn't loyal to her and then turning. But she still would have lost to him. Okay, so I think she's below these, at least. Like, because like these are players that got to the end of their like closest ally and beat them. Denise would have, or like it was with ours, he would have done that. Denise is someone that like wanted to do that and would have lost. Yeah, I would lean above Heidick as well, and then yeah, at that point, I think I will just go. I think probably above Colby though. Like, give her credit for like actually like taking the shot eventually, but still dock her for the fact that she had to be like kind of forced to do that. What's funny is that Carson could probably even be that on the final list. Yeah. Michelle Fitzgerald. I think she's just lower. I mean, like, if we're talking about her co-wrong game, she needs what on that season? She needs Final Four immunity. She needs Joe to get medevaced. And I guess that's really it, to be fair. It's 2 rounds. So that's fairly similar to like Jenna and Tom. I think on paper she's more similar to Jenna, but she has a second appearance of getting to the end again. So like, she's a better Jenna for sure. And it's like her second appearance isn't even that good, but like it is her getting to the end again. So it's like, I kind of feel like I feel like she's probably somewhere in that range. Show's fault for eating all that meat, yeah. She's Justina for Tribe loses. I mean, yeah. Yeah, again, her Go Wrong game's pretty bad. What if I did this tier? Actually, because she gets the end twice, but like also both times, like she probably shouldn't have gotten to the end. Like she gets very lucky of getting to the end both times. So even like quantifying her as a winner on this is like kind of debatable. To where I think like her being with these like 2-time player. I mean, I guess to be fair though, she still did make it to the end though on Winners at War. Like I think it's like she's at least here. I think. Also, what the fuck happened to Camilla? Why is Camilla on the wrong row? But whatever. I think she's at least here. And then it's a debate between here and like Tom Westman, I feel like. Lauren Pascal, yeah. Well, Pascal needs to be 69, so once I finish this phase, I need to finalize this version of the list, which is a more statistical version of the list, which is what I'm currently working on off stream. If I don't have if I do for some reason finish this tonight, if I don't have this version of the list done by tomorrow night, then I won't stream. I'll instead work on this. Like either way, I'm streaming on Wednesday, and then yeah, Thursday I'll finish. Like I should be finished with this by then for sure. So we'll start working on that. But this like so, yeah, this is the final thing I want to get finished before doing the final version, because this is one of the lists I want to have as like a comparison point, where it's like it's this list which is very like game focused. This list, which was the first tier list we made. This list, which is the second tier list we made. And then this is a more like statistical list based on like how many tribals they survived and like that sort of thing. Like I want all of those as like kind of comparison points. Yeah. Yeah, it's like with Michelle, it's really just a matter of like how much credit do I give her for doing it twice, for like getting to the end twice. And again, I think with this list, yeah, I think with this list, I keep her here, because again, both seasons I just don't like. She shouldn't have made it that far. I mean, I guess like with Winners at War. So again, with Ko Wrong, she needed 2 rounds of immunity. For Winners at War, how much did she really need? Like I think like pretty much the entire endgame stretch, she kind of needed help there, like the entire like post Edge of Extinction. And yeah, to fair, yeah, she was a GOAT on that season anyway. And there's still like the Nick boot round, she won immunity, and yeah, I think it's fine putting Michelle here. Again, ultimately she will be above these players on the final list, but I think for this version, I think she is here for like the other like decent-ish 2-time players. Wait, why the fuck is Genevieve over here? Like, why is she in that column? Whatever. This is so fucked. Genuinely, like these like keeping the tiers like this is so much of a pain. I just like stopped bothering with this version of the list I'm making. I was like, I'm wasting way too much time trying to keep everyone organized on this side. That's like, I'm just not going to bother anymore. But yeah, okay, wrong spreadsheet. This one. Yeah, Pascal being above Mother of Eve and Michelle. I'm sure Twitter would love that. All right, Ben. Ben's interesting, actually. Like, there's an argument that Winners at Wars is better game. Like, Winners at War, he gets the final 5 naturally. Should, like, if it wasn't for Edge of Extinction, probably makes it to the final 3. But again, he was a GOAT on that season. His original appearance, he is a very likely winner, but like he probably shouldn't have made it past final 7. So it is a pretty big mixed bag. Let's see. Like, just his first appearance is here, right? Like, it's like Savannah, Rachel, Mike Holloway. Yeah, it's more so trying to piece together how much Winners at War boosts him. Could he be in, like, Tasha category, actually? Which, in comparison, I've never thought about in my entire life. But, like, considering, like, their first appearance had a lot of win equity, but, like, again, Ben shouldn't have made it past final 7. Tasha got the final 6. I guess, to be fair, Tasha also shouldn't have made it that far either, though. If she didn't win certain immunity, she probably would have been gone before that, but either way. But yeah, second time, should have made it to the end, but we're GOATs. Like, I think that's, like, at least similar on paper. So yeah, I think that feels okay to me, even though it's like a really random comparison. Yeah, I'll go above just because we did see Ben actually win. Ben is Tasha but quit. Yeah, which I don't really like fault him. I don't know if fault him's right. Actually, generally I don't fault him because like he was gonna lose anyway. Oh, now Michelle Fitzgerald is 69. Yeah, Cody Ass Munchers 6'7". I generally that has come across my mind is that I feel like making this list would be very funny just because like it would be a troll. To a degree, like what's funny is that it's genuine but also a troll at the same time. Because like technically there is logic to this list. Like like I said this like before. So like if someone wanted this to be their like rationale, it's like this being their criteria for their list, like I think that's valid. It's not how I want to. Like yeah, I don't feel right having this as my final list, but like it is a set criteria that is being followed. That I don't know. It technically, again, if someone wants that to be the way they view the game of Survivor, like this is like at least a list that kind of makes sense. All right. Are these the last non-winners? Yeah. Well, I mean Suri, but like Suri. Yeah. All right. Amanda Kimmel, first purple, also. Steven, Spencer, Rizzo. Yeah, I'm debating right now if I want to put like really go for finishing this tonight because I could, but like it probably won't be done until like 5 o'clock or something. But we'll see. Okay. Amanda, Oz makes it to the end twice. Doesn't win any of those appearances. Like comes like moderately close to winning. But like not like super close to winning. I don't know. It's kind of like in a kind of like a coach sort of way, I guess, where like if she pitched correctly, maybe she could have won. But again, she didn't make it to the end twice. Huh. Yeah, I actually really don't know what to do. Yeah, I think she is lower. He's like, we're looking here with like Jonathan and Ty. I think Jonathan and Ty had more winning scenarios. um, I mean, I think there's a shot in like China at least. Actually, there's probably a shot in both. I don't know. Like Micronesia. I think there's a shot she could have gotten Eliza's if she like really did super well, but like she wasn't going to. But even then, that's just a tie. So, whatever. And then China, like, I think if she really, like, if she, yeah, I think she could have won. What is it going to happen? No, especially with Todd doing as well as he did. It's like there was no way he was going to win. Amanda versus Natalie, I think is interesting actually because like Natalie would probably get like what like Jason and Alexis and maybe Eric. Possibly Eliza too. That's kind of like a middle ground one, but it's not like a definitive win, especially for someone like Amanda. Please make this the final list. I mean, what am I actually doing though? I do think win equity is not ideal. I'm thinking like here. Like I think like a better coach. Like her versus Ozzy actually. I think generally I think Amanda might drop a little bit on the final list, but it's not gonna be by this much though. I'm debating Amanda Ozzy. Ozzy I think has more blatant winning scenarios. But also only has one finalist appearance. And like even South Pacific's obviously kind of a fluke. I actually think I might go Amanda lower. I don't know. It's close. Like it only comes from the fact that Ozzy's played 5 times, has made the merge every time. Like outside of that, obviously Amanda's just outright better on this list still. But I'll give it to Amanda. I'll give it to Amanda for making it to the end twice. Like more genuinely than Ozzy did. Because again, Cook Islands doesn't count, or fuck me, South Pacific doesn't count. But yeah, I'll do that. And then Steven. Steven is possibly Lex Rob coded. I think the thing about Steven is I'm not 100% that he turns on JT. I think he probably does. But like considering he's even wishy-washy about it, it's like who really knows? But yeah, he's in a spot where like he had the better odds at final 3. Like he's in the same spot as Robin and Lex, where like had the better odds at final 3. If him or Aaron win immunity, JT goes home, he wins the game. I think he's better than Rob, at least. Lex. Like, I think he actually is better. I'm debating if he's better for this list. No, I'm talking about he's wishy-washy now. Like, if you ask him today, he's still wishy-washy. Like if you ask him today, he's like, I think I would have done it, but also I don't know. It's like, you never know until you do it. Like, even now, he's not, like, giving a concrete answer. But, like, I would, like, knowing Steven, I would still, like, lean towards him doing it, but I don't know. Generally, he had way more winning scenarios than these players, but I guess, like, too, for, like, Tyan and Jonathan actually get to the end. But I guess, like, Charlie is here, though. Yeah, because, like, is Steven worse than Charlie? But I feel like with that leads to a lot of inconsistencies. Now, are Dom and Charlie below Ty and Jonathan? Is that something that makes sense? Because, like, I think the problem comes from the fact that, yeah, I think Steven is better than Charlie. Like, I think Steven, like, I think on instinct, Steven is here, like, above Dominic. Though something fell off about it. I'm trying to remember what fell off about it. All right, let's just do it for now. Yeah, I'm thinking here. I don't know. Like, is there really that much of a difference between him and Lex and Rob, though? If anything, actually, Lex is better. Well, no, okay. Actually, wait. Yeah, this is interesting. So Lex and Rob are actually different because Lex and Rob beat everyone in their final three. Stevens needs a specific situation of JT gets voted out. But again, he has like a decent enough second appearance too. Yeah, I guess that's fair. Is that like Steven, like by the time final three, Steven's guaranteed final two. It's like that's also a credit to him. Maybe I just settle here. Like generally, like I think he's better than Charlie. Okay, cool. Fuck me. Didn't mean to hit my fucking desk like that, but okay. I think he's better than Charlie, and through that, better than Dom. Carson's probably just better. We could JT at 4. I'm not 100%. I would lean no, personally. I would say 3. He likely takes a shot. I would say 4. I would say no, but it's also not impossible. Okay, Spencer. I think Spencer is probably moving down. I don't know. It's kind of another one of these like Tasha spots where, actually, no. I mean, well, Spencer. Yeah, actually, wait, no, he's not that different from Ty and Jonathan in this spot, isn't he? Kind of. I mean, like, so he gets 4th place on his first appearance, has a lot of win equity, pretty much beats everyone on the board, but doesn't have a natural path to the end. Second appearance, probably has a stronger overall game, but has way less win equity. I think the problem is that I don't know if there's a situation that Spencer for sure wins. I think is the criticism. It's like there's a lot of spots where like he likely wins, but it's not like he has a locked win. Like I think Jonathan, like I think even though I still think Rizzo would have a shot. I think it's like you could say it's a locked win for Jonathan against Rizzo and Joe. Like you could say with Ty, actually I guess to be fair, Ty doesn't have any locked wins either. Yeah, fuck it. Okay, maybe it's just there. I think he's better than Jonathan for sure. And yeah, I guess I will go above Ty also. Tasha gets votes. I don't think she ever gets enough votes to win, though. Also, how the fuck did this... I don't know what I'm doing with these tiers. Like, how am I messing it up this bad? To like, Charlie is just there, but whatever, it's fine. Rizzo. Rizzo, my man! We're finally here! Is Rizzo the 23rd best Survivor player of all time? No. Yeah, Rizzo, I think is just dropping, genuinely. Charlie's ridiculously high. Well, Charlie's kind of good. Yeah, Rizzo's going down. Big problem is win equity. Again, this is a list that very much favors win equity. Rizzo doesn't naturally win either season. I think he's a more dominant player than Jonathan in 50. But it does seem like Jonathan beats him. I guess it's like, can he beat Sage and Christina in 49? Probably, but he's not trying for that situation. Yeah, I think ultimately he probably is just kind of Jonathan coded, actually. Like, there's niche situations where they win. And they almost kind of, like, again, he was playing optimally for 50 at least. I think I will go below Jonathan. Just for the fact that Jonathan would have beaten him in 50. And also, I think Jonathan's 42 game is probably more dominant than Rizzo's 49 game. But, yeah, I think him in this tier is okay. All right. I mean, are we doing this? I think we're probably doing this at this point, to be honest. I think we might just finish this. I think I say that and might not, but still, whatever. Which, yeah, if I do finish this tonight, I might not stream tomorrow. Actually, I'll say it's very likely I don't stream tomorrow. The attempt would be to try to get this version of the list done by Wednesday. So then from Wednesday on, we'll be back until we're done. But yeah, if we do finish this tonight, I won't be back tomorrow. If we don't, we'll be back just to finish this tomorrow is how it's going to be. Yeah. All right. Are we just doing Sandra first? Sandra, I think, ultimately is probably the hardest player to rank in all this. She's a 2-time winner. And I think that means a lot on this version of the list. And it's not even a spot where, like, she needs immunity wins. So, yeah, I think Sandra's just number one. And I think Sandra might be fairly high on this one. I mean, Michelle needs, like, immunity wins, needs Joe getting medevaced. It's like Sandra, it's like, yeah, she's not playing optimally, but she still has won twice. And she didn't need immunity wins or anything to get there. Like, if anything, this is Sandra's list. Like, this is the list that Sandra would be the highest on. Is one based around, like, how close you were to winning. Um, sorry, yeah. Sandra's there. When I did my Sasuke ranking, was Akiyama basically Sandra, or is she better? I guess, like, I mean, Sandra won twice. Akiyama didn't win twice. I do think, like, legacy-wise, though, I think they're kind of similar to me. If it wasn't for the fact that Sandra won twice. Michelle didn't give Denise an idol and go home. Those are facts. But yeah, I'm keeping this. Earl Cole. I need to figure out what I'm doing with Sandra. I think it's the big thing. I think Earl is probably above Chris. I think a criticism of Earl is the fact that he was thinking it was a final 2. Like the entire game, and was planning on going to the end of Cassandra and Dreams at that point, which is weird. And to be fair, for all we know, like, again, like, Cassandra could have taken Earl to the end. Like, again, it seemed like Cassandra's at least willing to vote out Dreams at 4. So it's like, maybe it wouldn't have mattered, but it still feels like a weird plan. I forget Cochran? No, Cochran's here. I don't know, because of his color. Like, I put him as not purple initially because, like, he's a player that I feel like would go home early, more times than not. But yeah, he probably still should be up here. They need to bring color into this. That is true. I think I'm gonna go Earl. I think Earl's at the top, outside of Sandra, of the people so far. Okay, let's do this. Todd. Yeah, also, they're probably different tiers. The racist review. I mean, I think people that has, like, I'm pretty sure I have gotten a comment saying this before. Carson being the second best non-winner. That's kind of funny. Yeah, Todd. Win equity is not as good as Earl's. I think you can argue navigation through the game is cleaner. Yeah, sexist review, definitely. That's definitely a contender too. Also, I find it very funny how, like, I pop into Corey's chat and then he constantly says, like, the full, like, the Moranian review every single time. Or it's like, at least, like, Puya, like, shortens it to, like, Moranian or whatever. I find it funny how, like, how Corey just literally says the Moranian review, like, every single time. Yeah, I think win equity being kind of rocky puts Todd lower. But still above Chris. Maybe, actually. Maybe not. I don't know. Okay, let me think through Todd, actually. I think I ever said name out loud. Yeah, it's kind of it's a weird name to say out loud. I didn't make the name thinking people would ever say it out loud. I never even said it out loud until, like, probably, like, a few years into the channel, genuinely. Like, when was the first time I ever said the name in a video? I don't think it was until, like, I started plugging the Twitch channel. But yeah, yeah, Todd's more dominant, but it does have less win equity, though. Like, Chris is someone that I think beats everybody by the time the final 7. Todd, like, he barely beats Courtney and Amanda. I don't know. He's like, even if like Erica beats everybody after the Shan vote. Does Todd beat everybody? I don't know. Todd, like, I think beats Denise. I'm not sure about PG. Like, and this is me being genuinely unsure about like PG and Eric. I actually don't know how the votes would have played out in those situations. I think he does beat James. So I mean, like, to be fair, I think he beats everyone from his side. Um, yeah, whatever. I'll keep it. Then Earl also beats everybody, like pretty much just on the season as a whole, right? I mean, like by like post merge. I mean, so yeah. Tyson, I think is dropping a bit. I mean, like ultimately Tyson is like a 4-time player at this point, so like maybe that gives him a bit of a boost, but his win is like, it's a good win, but also fairly low win equity. Yeah, he's a lot of control, but like even then he had the rock situation, and again, like, it's a lot of rockiness even in that win, and then outside that, his games aren't that good. So yeah, I am thinking Tyson lower. I'm not sure how much lower though. Like I do think like the fact that Chris and Erica, like I just think they had way more win equity than Tyson. And again, like, yeah, like Tyson's resume outside, that's not particularly good. Like, I think he's above Dominic and Charlie for sure. Even like Steven, I think is kind of like debatable. I mean, the thing that's funny about Here's the Villain is that Here's the Villain is actually like pretty good until he votes himself out. Like before that, he was playing probably one of the best games on the entire season, but then he votes himself out. So, I think he's above Steven. I will go above Steven for sure. Carson, I might go Carson above him genuinely though. Like thinking it through, it's like, so if the, like, let's say the Tyson, like what happens to Carson happens to Tyson. So like Tina wins final immunity. At that point, probably what, Tina? I mean, does Tyson just get voted out? Actually, I don't know. I think it depends on what Jervis's view on the game is at that point. But if he does, then he's worse than Carson. Like, I think it comes down to, does Jervis think he can win or not? Because I know Jervis has said that his plan was to cut Tyson at some point. He's never got the opportunity. That would obviously be an opportunity, but I do think it's also a spot where, like, if he thinks he loses against Tina also, I think he would rather take Tyson to the end, because, like, I would rather Tyson win than Tina. And to be honest, all this is so pointless. I don't even know why I'm bothering doing this. But I think I am going to go, and by that I mean, like, it's pointless because, like, on the final list it won't matter. Tyson's going to be above Carson anyway, but, like, yeah, I think for this version, I think I actually kind of want to go Tyson here. Yeah, actually, maybe if anything, maybe it is Jervis. Yeah, maybe Monica votes with Tyson to vote Jervis, actually. Who wins a Jervis Tyson fire making? I don't even know, actually. Anyway, it's in this situation, but it's the same situation that Carson went out on. Yeah, I'll do that. Who's next? Oh, JT. I love like me saying OJT. It reminded me of Jeff saying OJT during the trivia video. I think JT is. Okay, JT's tough because like win equity wise, he's here. Like I mean, win equity, he's probably like he probably has the most win equity of anyone on the list so far. But he does need final 3 immunity seemingly. So that's a bit of a knock. JT's a player that peaked in high school, probably. I'm not sure how much of a knock that is, but I think that is a knock to some degree. JT's only bad game was Game Changers. Yeah. And even Game Changers, like he gets swap screwed to be in that spot to begin with, and like by the time he gets voted out, he at least recognized he was going home. He just left the idol back at camp, so I don't know. Yeah, I'm struggling with where to land him because like I'm debating how much to dock him for possibly needing final immunity, because like outside that he's here. Like he probably beats like pretty much everybody on that cast. Bomb the high win equity. I mean, that would be like here. I mean, that would be like. Actually, is Tyson? Tyson might not even be with Carson based on win equity. Actually, maybe Tyson Steven is more comparable. JD taking Taj out isn't great either. Yeah. Like, am I doing this? Maybe the winner's like Earl. I mean, I think he's definitely below Earl. I would lean below Todd, and then I think I would lean below this, and at that point, I kind of just want to go below Carson also. Lord and Steven. You can argue it. I don't know if I want to go all the way, just because like his win equity is just so massive. Do I feel like this is a team? Like I think everyone from here to here at least are people that like win against most people on their cast. And I think all of them were the biggest jury threats on their seasons. Yeah. We're like Steven's not the biggest jury threat on this season. That's JT. I don't think he goes out at 4. If Steven was struggling with making that decision at 3, I don't think he's doing it at 4. But I don't know. I mean, yeah, that's an issue on JT. Yeah, I think JT there for this list is fine. Again, this isn't the final list. It'll change, probably. Cochrane. I think Cochrane is above or below Earl. I actually kind of want to go above, especially considering he's a two-time play. I mean, actually, does that really matter though? It's not like his South Pacific game is good, but like I guess to be fair, it's like it's decent enough to where like he survives like some tribals in the premiers they probably should have survived. Um, JT actually won. He should be with the other elite winners. Eh. Yeah, I don't think so. He's like, it's like if that's the case, then like Tom should be higher. Where fuck Tom is. Like if it's just like, oh, they won with a lot of win equity, then it's like, yeah, then like someone like Tom should be higher. But it's like I'm not gonna put Tom up here either. Carkin's too similar to Carson to not be right next to each other. I mean, Cochrane does win though. And like even in that niche situation, does Cochrane go home? I guess we don't know really. Like if Eddie had one final immunity, it's like it's probably Cochrane versus Sherry and fire making. But yeah, I definitely do think Cochrane and Carson, like their games are very, very similar. Just that Carson gets like sniped out. But I do think Cochrane's someone I am gonna put in this range. I think it's like the fact that he actually won, plus also the fact that he at least has like some minor positives to bring from South Pacific. I think I'll go this. Like I do feel like Cochrane's Caramoan game is just pretty spotless. Or like Earl has like he's blindsided at the Yao vote, and then also there's still like some question mark on if he was being brought to the end in the final two. I stand by Cochrane here for this list. Yeah, but Cochrane's playing for a final three though. Earl wasn't playing for a final three. Earl's playing for a final two. It's like if you could argue that if Cochrane knew it was a final two, he would have played the game differently. Like he would have set up the game differently. He wouldn't have like necessarily had, or maybe he would have put more work in with Sherry, or like I think at that point it's just like it changes the entire dynamic of the game, of like whether you're playing for a final two or final three. But yeah, is that? Oh no, we have Aubrey. Aubrey Bracco. What's funny is that like her winning game is shit, but like her non-winning game is something that actually keeps her like still kind of up here. I would say she's probably in like the Tyson Steven tier. Maybe a tad lower. I don't know. Maybe Spencer. Like the problem is that I Aubrey and Co wrong. I don't know if she wins. Again, she gets votes, but I don't know if she wins in most situations. She obviously wins 50, but that was a shit game. But she has like a lot of other like really deep appearances. Even on like 50, her win equity is like not great. Oh, is she an early boo in a lot of seasons? I mean, like, again, like she's been on the bottom for a lot and hasn't gone home outside Edge of Extinction, like early. But I don't think that's like something that's founded in much of anything. Yeah, I guess too fair. Yeah, 50 is pretty much just her winning immunities. And also, too fair, that doesn't matter to this list. That'll matter in the final list, but that doesn't really matter to this list. I'm debating Spencer or Fishback as the like parallel. I think I'll go Spencer.